Hey everybody, welcome back to Callus Crew Challenge 2, round of 8 action. Huge match here, arguably the highlight match of the round. It is Fakes and ABR, two super ultra mega veterans that have been around for a long time. Very talented, very respected, very accomplished. This is a big one, and this is in a tier that is largely considered to be very skill intensive and very precise, GSC. ABR, you guys may remember if you've been around long enough, used to main this tier and played it, I think, 2 years in SPL. Was really into it at one point, but that was a few years ago, and I'm not sure to what extent he has kept up with it and played it recently. But, I mean, he obviously still remembers what he's doing, and it probably won't take him too long, especially with Tony on his team, to get him some modern teams and get up to speed. Fakes, on the other hand, I haven't seen him play GSC in a long time. I remember him playing it back in the Pokemon Online days. I know that he can play it. He's good at all old gen tiers, all 2 through 5 especially. He can really play, but I couldn't tell you what his current level is of interest in the tier or being current with the tier, any of that. But man, Fakes, you just say what you want about the guy's past issues with activity and with motivation. It's true. Those criticisms of him are valid, but I would say he has quite clearly had the most difficult path in this tournament so far. His opponents up to this point are, in order, BKC in round 1, who we all know is one of the best players to ever play the game. Sprinkles in round 2, who was undefeated throughout 2 tournaments, and the defending champ. He managed to win both of those, and now in round 3, he's fighting ABR, which is one of, again, just like BKC, another one of the best players to ever play the game. And these are also in tiers that these guys, they're not just getting him in off tiers either. BKC, very competent in DPP, which is where they played. Sprinkles, DPP main for a ton of years, which is where they played. And then ABR is someone who, like I said, played GSC for, I think, 2 years in SPL, very familiar with this tier as well. So Fakes has had a tough road. If he manages to win this matchup, which, by the way, he needs to, or his team is eliminated, I don't know what else there is to say. Fakes is just an incredible Pokemon player. But if Fakes does not win this match, and according to the predictions, you guys don't think he's going to, it's going to be ABR's team, Pax on Stax, through to the round of 4, the semifinals. If Fakes does win this match, it'll come down to a Gen 8 battle between PJ for Team Fake Booty and Tony for Pax on Stax. Alrighty, I have taken long enough to set the scene. Let's get into it. Super hype matchup. Fakes will be on the bottom in this GSC battle, and ABR is on the top. Common leads in Lax and Zapdos, respectively. T-Wave and Double Edge. So far, standard stuff. Here comes Cloyster and a full para. Ideal for ABR. Should be able to get a spike, no problem. And there he goes. Gets out of the way of Zapdos, of course, and that also has T-Wave. So paralyzed Lax on both ends, and so far they've shown the exact same pokes, but ABR gets the better end of it. He still has the spikes down, and he's going to prevent Fakes from getting his spikes down by getting the Zapdos in on Cloyster, and then he's going to hidden power into the Cloyster, hitting the oncoming Golem for 49%, which is huge, and then preventing what would have been probably a rapid spin. So this game very much in ABR's favor early on, and that crit matters as well, because now with the recoil, Lax will not live another Thunderbolt. Bad to worse all the way around here. Thunderbolt blanks on Golem, woohoo, but it will not live hidden power, so nothing going the way of Fakes in the early stages here. And if there was any doubt, we see that it's HP Ice rather than HP Water, but you would have known that based on the damage on Golem. ABR is going to land a T-Wave and a full para. He is getting all the things. ABR, just 12 turns into this game, is miles and miles ahead of Fakes. And again, he gets the Zapdos in exactly as the Cloyster comes in. Not a good start to this set for Fakes. ABR, who you guys consider to be the favorite here, and it's hard to argue with that, is really on the better end right now. There's a very important speed tie about to come here. Cloyster Finally, Fakes catches something of a break. Thunderbolt there would have killed the Cloister easily had it gotten off, but ABR is going to full power twice in a row to give him a little bit of breathing room, but not much. And Boom is going to hit Cloister there. Not only does it fail to kill, but he never does get a rapid spin off. So Fake's going to be playing with that spike beneath his team for the rest of the game. Gengar comes in. Thunderbolt's on Lax, no big deal. He has no chance to get it with something like Hypnosis because he's already paralyzed. And there's EQ, which in this gen, Gengar is vulnerable to. Remember, abilities don't exist yet. There's no Levitate. Fakes finally gets a spike off. Yet to be seen if ABR has his own spinner. He's got the rather uncommon Miltank. This guy used to be more popular, but it's pretty bad, to be honest with you. And I hate saying that because Miltank is legit my favorite Pokemon. If you get that question in the ADV trivia bot that I have in my Discord server, what is Cal's favorite Pokemon? The answer is, in fact, Miltank. But yeah, it's not good, just to be honest. I mean, it's a poke that's vaguely in this tier sometimes. It still, I don't think, is a great poke, and like I said, it's definitely fallen off in popularity. It saw more use before than it does these days, but it is at least usable, and ABR is busting it out here. It's not pure gimmick. He's not busting out some, NU garbage or whatever. It is a Mon that's in the tier. It's just on the very outer fringe of it. So Growl and Surf, and yes, Growl is ubiquitously on Miltank. It's one of the ways that it is used to check Snorlax. One of the primary uses of Miltank in this tier. Heal Bell is obviously a good move as well, but Fake's catching some luck here with a crit Surf, putting Miltank in a weird spot. Going to be forced to Milk Drink repeatedly and giving Fakes a lot of lefties back as well as chances to hit another crit with Surf. The other thing is Milk Drink only has the 16 PP to begin with, so every one of those that you waste is also good for Fakes. Body Slam going to whiff on Gar. And there's Ice Punch, fishing for a freeze, which does not happen. Miltank, we know the full set, and this is basically the only set that you ever see in competitive GSC. It can't touch the Gengar at all, and Fakes knows that, so he's going to come in and fish for a freeze a couple times. Doesn't find one, but might as well give yourself the shot. So now that we've slowed down a bit from what was a fast and action-packed early game, we find ourselves in a 6-5. ABR, of course, with the lead. He also has those two unrevealed pokes in the back. And here is Miltank again. Cloister, we know, is slower than Miltank. The cow is actually a bit faster than she may appear. Not the fastest Mon in the world, doesn't outspeed Gengar, but she can move for a big gal, believe it or not. And she gets the Milk Drink off there, goes up to 97%. Lax comes in, and there is Thunderbolt. It's only Bolt Beam, or Bolt Punch, which we refer to as Bolt Beam, shown from the Gar. Yet to be determined if it has things like Boom, Dynamic Punch, Hypnosis. We shall see. Here comes Miltank again. Cloister's starting to get low, and the cow is going to bite the dust along with Cloister. Tragic in my eyes. Hate to see my favorite poke go down, but somebody had to eat the boom. Turns out it's Miltank. Leaves us in a 5-4 situation now. ABR still in the lead and still has the two unrevealed pokes on the back. Lax is very low from before and still paralyzed, and Lax is now dead to that earthquake. And it is going to be Espeon in the back for Fakes. Gonna go for growth. Gonna try to sweep right here. There's Double Edge. Gonna need a Psychic crit immediately or Espeon will just die. Morning Sun, I don't think that's a winning strategy. Double Edge is doing way more than it's recovering back with Morning Sun. In fact, it might die right now. It's gonna hang on barely, but this is not sustainable. But he's going for it. And there you go. A crit seals it. May or may not have mattered. Really depends on the damage roll. But I think Fakes' only out there was to click Psychic and hope you get there on a crit. He didn't even try it. Didn't even give himself a chance. And ABR is going to take game one convincingly, putting Fakes and his team, Fake Booty, who have overperformed in the eyes of many and gotten this far in a very tough portion of the bracket. It's going to put their back against the wall and threaten their tournament life. Fakes must win 2 in a row against ABR and GSC. Far easier said than done. And then also, that would go over to the Gen 8 matchup, which they also need to win. So it's got to be an uphill battle for Team Fake Booty, but you've just got to go one game at a time. See if Fakes can even force a Game 3, or if ABR is going to punch a ticket for packs on Stax into the semifinals. We're going to get into Game 2 in just a moment. I'm going to do this faster than I've done it the whole tour. If you've enjoyed the tournament, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see the replays, go to the Discord server. In the description, there's a link. Finally, please donate and support the tour. It's easy. There's a donation link in the Discord server. Click it, donate money, done and done. It supports the tour. We really want to get up to $900. We're at $760 something right now. We're $140 short. Please contribute. See, I breezed through it. Let's get to Game 2. Fakes is on the bottom and ABR is on the top. Eggs lead, immediately missing Sleep Powder, and punished by the lax lead of ABR with a double edge. Sleep Powder going to come down now, and the lax, of course, going to take a nap for at least a turn. Fori appears, and takes very little from Giga Drain with the quad resistance. Lax reappears just in case HP Fire, and good thing ABR scouted for that, because indeed, Executor's HP Fire very well might just be last move boom, but we didn't see it here. And both players have a Fortress as it turns out. Lax shows that it has Sleep Talk, but Fakes establishes Spikes first, which is not the way it went in the previous game. And he's got HP Fire here to punish the other Fori, so Fakes off to a much better start in this game than he was in the previous. ABR going to whiff Protect as Zapdos appears, but that's just going to let him Protect again. So ABR gets a couple turns of lefties and gets his Fori back up into the green. And then Zapdos will do its thing, which turns out to just be Thunder again, resisted by Raikou, and does not find the para either. HP Ice and Thunder, respectively. Raikou not only with the more powerful attack in this one-on-one situation, but he's also faster until this moment where he finds himself paralyzed, and Golem comes in on the rest turn, threatening both Rapid Spin and EQ. Hidden Power does get found in his sleep for a pretty good 43%, so that was a good turn for ABR, but Fakes does nevertheless get the Rapid Spin off and regain his Spikes advantage. He's got him down. ABR at this moment does not. However, ABR also has a Golem here and may go for Rapid Spin, which he does, so both players spikeless for a moment. Giga Drain, however, from Fori. So it's interesting, both the Executor and the Fori have Fire Grass coverage. It's very weird for people who play Gens beyond Gen 2 to see sets like this. Spikes, HP Fire, Giga Drain, Fori. Imagine seeing that in Gen 3. I don't even think he learns Giga Drain in Gen 3, but imagine seeing that. It's crazy times back in these days, but that is a viable non-gimmick Fori set. We also see Surf from the lax of ABR, which again is not a gimmick. That hits Cheetar pretty good, and more importantly, it devastates Golem. So that is a thing. Like I said, weird gen, weird times. Imagine, again, seeing Lax with Surf, which I think it does learn, in Gen 3. It would be terrible. But back to the matter at hand. The full team has been revealed for ABR. It's last poke Suicune. Spike's advantage still does belong with Fakes, and we still do not know the last poke for Fakes either. Rapid Spin comes down. Both players spikeless, but we know there's a Giga Drain on the Fori set. Should just probably spike up here. Had he anticipated the opposing Fori, he could have clicked HP Fire there and it would have been really good, but there's nothing preventing him from clicking it now. ABR does at least take the opportunity to heal his Fori up with a couple turns of lefties, and obviously gets out of the way of the incoming Hidden Power. Fake's going to over-predict and go Giga Drain, thinking maybe Golem or Coon was going to try to sneak in there, but that is not what happened. The Lax just sat in, and he's going to Sleep Talk once again. One of the disadvantages of this Surf set is that when you hit this matchup, Lax on Lax, your Surf is pretty damn bad. 10% is not going to get it done, and you need to have a dedicated answer to Lax if you're going to go down this route, which of course ABR has opted to bring with a Skarmory here. And there's the Whirlwind. That's going to prompt out the Executor that we haven't seen in a while. That was the lead poke for Fakes. We know it has HP Fire, but instead he's going to opt for Sleep Powder here. Now he's going to Giga Drain. Not that exciting. If it's last move boom, he really can't hurt the Lax very well here. Psychic would chunk him, but I don't know that he has that. Fori, opportunity for a great prediction. It's going to be another missed sleep powder. HP Fire there again would have rocked his socks off, but Fakes was not able to make that play. ABR twice has switched Fori into Mons that he knows has HP Fire, so he's really got some balls and some precision timing to do that. He could have gotten his Fori cooked twice had he been wrong, but Fakes has not been able to pull the trigger. And there's the third time, actually. ABR has again brought the Fori into a Mon that he knows has HP Fire on the other side, but Fakes hasn't been able to catch him on any of those turns up to this point. Fori appears again. Yeah, and Fakes is wrong again. That's the fourth time he's switched Fori into an HP Fire Mon, but Fakes doesn't click HP Fire. ABR with some outplay action there, and he takes the lead in this game as well as he prompts the boom from Fakes, and it ends up booming on the Fori and not killing it. Now, to be fair, there are 3 boom resistances on ABR's team, which is a high amount, and it wouldn't have killed the Skarm or the Golem with boom either, but nevertheless, the fact that the Fori is still standing for ABR despite 2 HP Firemons on the other side, and it's actually the Executor that ends up going down, really speaks to how thoroughly ABR outplayed and outmaneuvered Fakes on a couple of those turns. But this game is far from over, and the Spikes advantage very relevant with Fakes, and there's a couple pokes on ABR's squad that could be a little bit healthier. This one has the potential to go long. ABR's team with Skarm, with Kuhn, those are pokes, 4A2 to a lesser extent, that are only found on very stally teams. And as you can see, it is a very stally team for ABR. This one's probably designed to drag the game out a little bit. Might be looking at a longer one here. We will see. Lax is going to curse up and immediately be whirlwinded out. And we now see the last poke for Fakes in the back. It is Vaporeon, and he's not going to stick around. Could have taken a shot there, but got out of the way, went to Zapdos. More switching is going to lead us to Lax. Raikou's still asleep, and going to go for rest in his sleep. You guys should know by now, watching, how that mechanic works, but very quickly, if you do not, basically in this gen and this gen only, if you find rest with your sleep talk, it works as if you actually used rest. In future gens, it would just fail. But in this gen, you rest and you go to full health, and your sleep time resets as if you had just used rest when you weren't asleep, which is something that drags out games, and that Game Freak obviously thought was undesirable, and they made a point to change that with the next gen. Golem low for ABR, but alive, and he got Rapid Spin off as well. But he gets out of the way, and Fakes doesn't press the issue, so we end up with Kuhn on Fori. Reestablishes Spikes at the cost of a 44% Surf. So Spikes advantage again with Fakes, but still the Mons advantage for ABR. And crucially, unless the Fori from ABR also has Rapid Spin, which we've only seen 2 moves, but if that is not the case, then this is effectively a 5-5 game, because Golem for ABR is at just 8% and will die to the Spikes next time he comes in. So it is either 5-5 or the Fori also has Rapid Spin and gets that off, and then Golem in theory is safe, but it would still take quite some time to nurse it back to any meaningful health from all the way down at 8%. Giga Drain there is another over prediction, and the punishment is nothing, just a rest found in his sleep talk. The Lax has shown the full set as well. Double-edged Sleep Talk Surf and Rest, of course. Weird set. Don't know that I'm fond of it, but obviously ABR knows what he's doing. Here comes Lax, staring down the Zapdos, missing with Thunder. And Sleep Talk Rest again. Yeah, kind of suspecting this one might be a grind. 70-something turns in here and still chugging. Only that one KO, self-inflicted KO at that, since it was via explosion earlier. I think if ABR doesn't have the second spin, I think if Fori can't Rapid Spin the Spikes away, then Fakes is actually in a pretty reasonable place in this game. Then again, maybe it doesn't even matter if ABR does have the rapid spin, which I don't think he does, just for the record. But even if he does, the golem is so low that I don't know how realistic it is that Fakes is gonna lefty it up to any meaningful extent. Yeah, I think Fakes is actually ahead in this game, even though on paper he is not. And the Lax here will not survive a Surf at +1. Man, but ABR is willing to stay in and potentially take it anyway, so he must have known rest was coming on that turn. Got to be really careful in the sleep, though. Yeah, there you go. There's Surf in his sleep, and down goes Lax. So we've got ourselves a tie game, but effectively Fakes is in the lead because remember, Golem will die on entry for ABR. Sleep Talk Rest, meh. And obviously the Stab Earthquake is a potential threat here. Skarm comes in. And Earthquake is going to, of course, blank on that. Skarmory is the glue that is holding this all together for ABR, handling both the Golem and the Lax on the other side. There's the double back, thinking Zapdos is going to prompt out Skarm, which is the way it goes. Lax is going to stare down Raikou now. Hidden Power in his sleep, not enough damage, even if he had found a crit, which he didn't. And there's a large Earthquake coming back. Out of the way. And rest. Yeah, Fakes is getting a lot of the small things right. He's getting advantages in these middle to late game turns that we're in here and getting meaningful chip off on the other side. I think that Fakes is in good shape to send us to a game 3. But even if that is the case, like I said, there's still a long way to go. Even if we do go to a game 3, Fakes would have to win that game, and his team would have to win the Gen 8 battle between PJ and Tony. So certainly the overall series advantage, even though I do like Fakes in this game, I think the overall series advantage clearly is still with Pax on Stax. The Skarm does seem annoying for Fakes to break, but if he kills some or most of the other things, then Skarm is really not going to be enough. And there's a critical hit as well for Fakes to take out the Raikou, and that's going to be enough. ABR agrees with my assessment of the game, and he's going to pack it in. I really, even though he's got 4 pokes left, I really don't think that that's premature. I mean, especially if you consider, if the Golem does die on entry, the Skarm doesn't beat the Zapdos, the Coon doesn't beat the Zapdos, the 12% Fori, it comes in and dies and doesn't beat the Zapdos. I don't think that's premature at all. I think Fakes had that one in the bag. So Fakes is going to get this one. And so far it's been not a super haxy series. These have both been, I mean, not every turn is perfect, but by and large, 2 relatively clean games and 2 kind of different games too. Different teams brought from both guys each time. ABR, I guess, leaning a little on the stallier side. Game 1 goes 51 turns. Game 2 goes 96. A lot of variety here. Not sure what we're going to see in Game 3, but I reiterate for the umpteenth time that Fakes must win Game 3 or his team Fake Booty is eliminated. If he wins, we go to Gen 8. If ABR wins, Pax on Stax are through to the round of 4. We only have one other team currently guaranteed, locked in to the round of 4. And you guys should know who that is if you watched the previous video. Won't spoil it for you. Alright, here it is. 3rd and final game. Fakes and ABR in some GSC action. Here it is. Fakes for the 3rd and final time is on the bottom. ABR is on the top. Both gentlemen leading with Cloyster, and neither one getting cute with Toxic or whatever. They both just spike up. On turn 2, however, different choices. It is Surf and Toxic, respectively. And the Toxic goes away with Miracle Berry, which is the Gen 2 equivalent of Lumberry for those watching. So that actually might come back to bite ABR over the longer term in this match if his Cloyster does not have lefties and the opposing one does. We'll see if that ends up being a factor in this game. Double edge there. Well, that's going to make it a factor. Critical hit, and he doesn't have lefties. Back to his own Lax, and Fakes goes to Gar there in case Cloyster had gone for Boom for ABR. Did not want to get blown up on there, obviously. So I totally understand the Gar play there. ABR did not end up pulling the trigger, but I absolutely understand why Fakes made that play. However, he switches Gengar into an incoming Earthquake that he didn't know was there. Not thrilled about that. And he's going to whiff on Destiny Bond as well, as ABR also goes to Gengar. So now Raikou comes in. Previously unrevealed T-Tar for Fakes. So different squads again for these guys, mixing it up pretty good in a gen that is not exactly known for its variety. Thunderbolt and Earthquake is the trade. T-Tar obviously getting the better end. And going to Earthquake again as Lax reappears for ABR. 3 unrevealeds in this game, 1 for Fakes, 2 for ABR. And Cloyster's still napping for Fakes, coming into an EQ for 20%. Kills a sleep turn. Double Edge is going to make it so he needs to wake up now, otherwise he will die to the next one. He's going to go for it, but he's not going to wake. And ABR gets the early advantage in Game 3. Up a poke, and Gengar is very low for Fakes. Goes for D-Bond, offering a trade, and ABR accepts. I don't know that he should have accepted there. Very healthy Lax for very low Gengar. That might have been a boo-boo. We'll see if it comes back to bite him. I don't think I would have accepted that. Not that that means anything. That's what ABR did. And it leads us in a 4-5 situation with ABR in the lead. Full team now revealed for Fakes. It is Nidoking in the back. 1 poke still hidden for ABR on his double electric squad. Gonna go for Hidden Power. And Sleep Talk Double Edge there. Big chunk. 2/3 at +1. Here's Gar. Wakey Wakey. And Double Edge. We know the full set. We know that he cannot touch Gengar here. So maybe T-Tar can. Ice Punch, no problem. No freeze. See if he can crunch or pursuit him here. And it is the withdraw, and it is the pursuit. 72% is a lot. Leaves Gar very low, but Gar is not dead. And there's Boom. It's going to trade with something. Something ends up being Zapdos. Espeon in the back for ABR, busting out offense for the first time in this set. 2 stallier teams going aggro this time. Both Mons use a setup move, and we'll see what happens when the dust settles. BP to Gar is going to be the answer. That makes a lot of sense to me because he knows that the Lax cannot touch it. And now at +1, damage is going to happen. Ice Punch there is huge. Gengar with no chance in hell to survive another one. But ABR pulls it back. Someone's going to have to explain that to me. I don't get that one. Is it because he doesn't want to let the T-Tar come in and fodder off the Nidoking. T-Tar comes in, clicks Pursuit. Is that what he's playing around? That one's a bit of a head scratcher for me. The obvious play is just to click Ice Punch again there, but I guess he realizes that would effectively be trading the Nidoking for the Tar, because the Tar would just come in and click Pursuit. But like even then, I don't know, if you're Gar, don't you just like click Thunderbolt there and just do a ton to the Tar on the way out after killing the Nidoking? I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but I'm sure he had his reasons. We'll see how it plays out from here. Mean Look is whatever, but he's just going to Ice Punch now, and Nidoking goes down. So only 2 pokes for Fakes. He makes the obvious play, goes to T-Tar, gotta click Pursuit. Damned if you do, damned if you don't for ABR, unless he finds a freeze, which he does not. Leaves us in a 2-2. Make that a 2-1. Zapdos, the lone survivor for ABR. Thunder needs to connect. Does. And it's now going to be Zapdos on Lax. This heavily favors Fakes. Gonna need crits or para, full para. Does find para, but not full. Rest gets off. Fakes in the definite advantageous position here. Not a guarantee, but absolutely in the better spot. Thunder connects after missing for ABR. Sleep Talk Double Edge. Zapdos will die to the next one. Gonna have to rest. What else can you do? Wakey Wakey and Sleep Talk. Fakes loses track of the sleep timer. Not what you want to be doing in this crucial Game 3. And then Thunder again finds a para, but he rested away anyway. Thunder again. Sleep Talk rest, negating it. Wakey wakey, Thunder, and a crit. Opportunity for ABR. And he finds rest in his sleep. ABR's gotten a couple breaks. He's gotten 2 Thunder pairs, and he's gotten a crit, but Fakes has gotten exactly what he needs in response anytime that's happened. 2 curses now. Getting big. Thunder got a whiff at a bad time. And he rests just in case. Thunder's going to connect now. Sleep Talk rest again. Thunder PP is also a factor here. Thunder PP is a factor. Just dying is a factor here. There you go. Critical hit double edge in his sleep, and just like that, we're done. GG from ABR. GG's from Fakes. Mutual respect from these guys. But man, how about this sentence? ABR 1-2 in this tournament. That's the second set that he's dropped. Fakes not only 3-0, but the record, the murderous row of players that he has beaten. Fakes in this tournament has, in order, defeated BKC and DPP, Sprinkles and DPP, and now ABR and GSC. BKC, Sprinkles, and ABR in a row is an insane tournament for Fakes. This dude can just effing play, and that is quite clear by his record at this time and the opponents that he has beaten. Regardless of the criticisms for Fakes and his activity BS in the past, you've got to respect the dude's playability. Very, very hard to do what he has done in these first 3 rounds of this tournament. That's going to give his teammates a chance. PJ is yet to win a match for Fake Booty, whereas Tony, I believe, is yet to lose on the other side. So we've got a player who hasn't won versus a player who hasn't lost, playing Gen 8, which you guys seem to think is a relatively even matchup. The predictions are very divided as to who should win that match, but that's going to be the decider. Will it be the underdog team, Fake Booty, who has come through a murderous bracket to get here, or will it be one of the pre-tour favorites, ABR's squad, Pax on Stax, alongside Lax and Tony? That match in real time has not played yet. I'm looking forward to it just as much as you guys are. And that's pretty much it. Just a reminder about the stuff that I said before. Please consider hitting the like button. Please consider hitting the subscribe button if you've not done so already. Link to the Discord server in the description if you guys want to watch matches live, catch the replays that don't appear on YouTube, etc., etc. And the most important thing is to donate if you have the means. We're only $1.40 or so short of our goal. Would be fantastic to hit that. This could be the first tournament I've ever hosted that doesn't hit its funding goal, and that would make me sad. Don't make me sad, make me glad. Donate. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. More matches to come. I will see you guys there.